What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, but this is not the Philly Talk podcast. We got Battle Birds podcast pregame week 4. And, we're coming off a bad loss just all around. 1, we got blown out. 2, it's a division opponent that we all hate. And 3, there were a lot of things that raised their ugly head in that game. Jalen Hurts, can he make all the throws that we need him to make? Can he see the field like we think? Nick Sirianni, do you believe in a run game, or do you only know half of a playbook? There's a lot of things. And to have an opponent that is as hungry as we are, if not hungrier, to get back to 500 is a little scary. The Kansas City Chiefs come in at 1-2 like us. So they're beatable. But in context, this is the back-to-back Super Bowl, a Super Bowl appearance team, and we have a heavy task against us. What do you think? Your overall thoughts about tonight's session?
Yo, that man, you know what it is, man. Listen, yeah, we got a heavy task ahead of us, but no task is too big that it can't be overcame. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was disgusted last week. Took me a couple days to get myself together. You know what I mean? I wasn't disgusted with the loss. The loss is fine, but when you come into a situation to where as though you're one-dimensional and then you're still running play action, dude, you didn't run the ball after the halftime for about, I want to say, a good 17, 18 plays. Everything was passed. And you think Jalen Hurts is not going to throw a pick? First of all, you're giving him no type of comfort. You're not letting him start fast. You're not letting him get into a rhythm when you're forcing everything down the field. It's starting to look like last year, and we're gonna have to have this talk. I want to wait till Gates come on, but we're gonna have to have this talk about if it's the coaching or if it's Jerry Lurie and how we roast him. Because we can't forget about the time. We can't forget about the time that we had. We did hear that Jeffrey Lurie was mad at that Green Bay game that we won because we ran the football like that. I mean, if these reports are true, how are you mad at a loss? Are you mad that we just threw the ball 100 times and took this loss? I mean, mad at a win. How you mad at a win? Are you mad that we just threw the ball 100 times and just got this L? So it's a lot of things that we got to dive into. I know we don't have a lot of time. That is mainly my fault, but we definitely got to talk about some things, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Yo, that.
Yeah. Shout out to Taekwon TV for becoming a member to the channel. But you touched on a good point, Fresh. Here's the thing. We heard that Doug Peterson had a meeting with Lurie and Howie Roseman every Tuesday, right? And he got reamed out for running the ball as much as he did with Howard and Sanders and the crew against the Green Bay Packers, where Carson Wentz looked good because of the run game. Everything just fit, looked like a real football team, and we won. And he got them not being happy because it's not woo, rah type offense. Who cares? We all come out here. Everybody in this picture behind us, all these fans come out for the W, no matter how it's done. But my only take to that is this. So we saw Doug Peterson forced to throw the ball, and he still, I thought that was running it at a low clip. Nick Sirianni just did something that I've never seen before. Again, I'm only 30 years old. It goes back beyond my real watching football days to even see a coach think about doing 3 runs. And I talked about this with LB yesterday. Like, the fact of the matter is this: RPOs, right? So even if you're running RPOs, right? If every play starts with an RPO, shout out to Gate coming through. But real quick, if you run RPO, right? What is the RPO for, right? You can either run it or you can either pass it depending on the coverage, right? Jalen picks that, most of the time, but who knows what is in his ear as well. With that being said, is this: you want to fake the run and you pull it out the pass because you make the linebackers pull up, right? If I'm the Cowboys team last week, right? After, a quarter and a half of football, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm telling my linebackers, don't even go for the run. Don't. If they run the ball, they might get a chunk play of 20 yards, but it looks like this coach is too stupid to do it again and again and again. So the linebackers are playing everything like a pass. You're not even freezing the linebacker, so you're taking a second from the quarterback to see the field, which he can use all the time he can, right? And you're not doing nothing to the linebackers. Every time you run a play action or RPO, nobody's fooled if you're not going to run the ball. So you have to have that element in it. And it was just disgusting the way we came out. He said the game got away of him, but the first 9 plays were either tied or a touchdown away, and in 9 plays, 0 runs. So it is a problem. It's a big problem. But Gabe, go ahead and say what's up, and give us your thoughts on that, on just the lack of running and RPO stuff.
You muted too, Gate. Okay.
What's good, guys? Steve, Gay City Sports Channel. All right. Look, man, it's tough because I get the sentiment. A lot of people just don't like RPO offenses. I will remind people we won a Super Bowl with that style of offense. That's the thing. It's a combination of a really bad play call from the Dallas game. I'll be honest with you. Shout out to Hunter Doyle. Hunter Doyle sent me the All-22 from the San Francisco game. And I got to tell you guys, if you go back, you don't even need the All-22 to see this. Just go back and watch the second series in the San Francisco game, and you can see the pieces of a dynamic offense in play. It's there. It's just its inconsistency. When you look at the RPOs, man, like it's to me, it's the approach to the game, right? Like if we looked at the San Francisco game, there was a lot of running. And even if you go back to that second series, there was a couple of early down runs, which set the defense up. That made the defense really respect the RPO game because it showed them that if Jalen reads you backing off in the coverage, he's going to hand the ball off. And that was it's a combination of coach. It's a combination of coach and quarterback. Jalen's got to do a far better job of understanding how RPOs work. And I know everyone's like, well, he did it in college. Like, come on, man. Like, you still shouldn't be struggling with this. This is a different level, man. These are faster players. There's a lot more pre and post snap disguise from defenses. It's still it's a level up from what he saw in college. And, we got to keep in mind, this is a rookie head coach, a rookie defensive coordinator, and a rookie quarterback, along with rookie wide receivers. Like, it's going to take time, guys. This is going to take time to execute the offense no matter what we do. But I do think there are approaches to the game that have to get better. Like, you can't lose sight of only running the ball 2 to 3 times. Like, that's too big of an oversight, man. That's inexcusable. You can say that sometimes you call an RPO play and it should be a run play, but what's that, 10% of the time? That doesn't equate out to what your percentages should be, man. That's not enough to excuse that type of thing. Now, if we're already talking about maybe you didn't run the ball 2 to 3 times when you should have, that's a different story. Then I could understand that justification. The justification makes no sense in the context of how little we ran the football in that game. And then, on top of all that, it took us, the fan base, to really get angry about not getting the tight ends involved, not getting the running backs involved in San Francisco enough, to where then we saw with Dallas, we finally did kind of go back to some of the play with the tight ends and some of the play with the running backs. I thought Gainwell had a really good, catch across the middle where he made a pretty big play. It's about the design and the concepts and making sure, as a rookie play caller, you put your quarterback, who's also learning the game, in the best position to succeed. We can sit here and talk about the fact that he's only making 1 to 2 reads. You know what? Drew Brees made a career out of that. Drew Brees, despite what I've heard some of these national media members say, who don't know the first thing about football, by the way, guys, stop listening to those dudes. They don't know what they're talking about. Drew Brees made a career out of half-field reads with Sean Payton. He made a career out of RPOs. Sean Payton is really the person who perfected the glance RPO. Like, you can't tell me it doesn't work. It does work. It's just that we're not executing. We're not developing the way we need to be developing early in the season. I want to caution people. I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm saying it won't turn around. I'm saying early in the season, the execution in terms of the play design isn't there. The execution in terms of the balance isn't there. The execution in terms of development isn't there. And I'll be honest with you, too. I don't think it would be a horrible idea for Nick Sirianni to step back and become an executive coach in this early season. Let Steichen call the plays. You're still developing. You're still the guy that's coming up with the majority of the game designs. Let him call it, though. You need to focus more on development. We got a young quarterback that needs assistance. We got receivers that need assistance. We got young running backs that need assistance. We need a guy who can look at it without the bias of calling the plays, to look at the entire concept from an overarching view and come at it with fresh eyes. And I think that would benefit him. I know guys like to call plays. I get it. But the thing is, man, is that calling plays is not what people crack it up to be. There are some people who are exceptional at it, like the Andy Reids and stuff, no doubt about it. But even Andy Reid had to take a step back to Marty Morningwig for a duration of time. Even the great
Together,
Andy
yeah.
Reid had to do it.
You
So I
gotta get
mean,
you got so many obstacles to climb over when you're the head coach. And calling plays is definitely one of them, but you have to look at every increment of the team, special teams, defense, all offense, just all type of stuff. And Gates, you definitely hit on a lot of things. Running the
Lane
ball
Johnson's
definitely
out
helps.
too, real quick. Just
Yeah,
let y'all know.
yeah, I was about to get to that. Like running the ball definitely helps your quarterback. It helps your running back, and it helps your offensive line. Like, dude, an offensive lineman will tell you. I don't care. I don't know if Jalen Williams is in here. I don't care who you are. He will tell you it is better for a offensive lineman to be blocking forward than blocking backwards, than having to have somebody come to them instead of you going to them. It's way easier. And I'm not saying that Nick Sirianni is causing these injuries, but when you got these older guys who got to go for 40, 50 plays and be upright instead of pushing forward, that's going to hurt you in the long run. You can't keep doing that. Now we got Lane Johnson out. These are the actors and inactives. Inactive Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Matt McClain, of course, Gordon Minshew, Marlon Chahupa. I don't know how to say his name, never do. But when you look at it, that's 3 starting offensive linemen. And I think some of that is having to do with pass happy. Instead of these guys going forward, you seen what they did in Atlanta. You seen Kelsey get on the road. You seen Brooks. You seen Lane. These dudes love to get up to the upper levels. These dudes love to push. They're bullies. They like to push. They don't like to be pushed back. And man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if you don't run this freaking ball, man, like you might be one of the first head coaches to. I don't know how many there are. I asked this question to a lot of people don't know. But to get fired on your first year, like you can't continuously keep not running the ball like this, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, Lane Johnson being out, after practicing all week, right? We got the update today. They're gonna move Landon Dickerson to left guard. They're gonna put Jack Driscoll as right guard. So I'm thinking, you know what? Dillard didn't play that bad last week. Now you got Dickerson at left guard. Hopefully he's better there. He's young, but he was getting bullied. Kelsey's still the guy anchoring the crew with line calls and stuff. Now you got Jack Driscoll at the right side where he did show some flashes, and then you got Lane Johnson still. But now, no. So who plays right tackle? At the end of the day, he was scheduled to play this game. He practiced all week. It's looking like it's a personal issue. So it's like totally out of the game plan. So a guy who hasn't been able to adjust in the game now has to take his all-pro right tackle and figure out a way to go about his business that way.
Hey, Mike, you know what helps that out? It's called running the football.
Exactly.
And that's what I was getting to. That everything that I just said is what I was getting to. Like, they're probably going to put Jack Driscoll because that's really his natural position, right tackle. He played it at Auburn. So they're probably going to put him there. And they did bring up some. I think they knew this because they just brought up somebody yesterday. So they knew this. They knew something had to be going on. They brought somebody off the practice squad. Yes, I can't remember who it was, but I do know it was a guard. And they brought up a cornerback. So I mean, dad, what's his name, man? I can't remember the kid name.
Are you talking about the dude the Chiefs brought up?
No, I'm talking about us. We brought up a guard / tackle. I can't remember his name.
Oh, the kid we signed from Buffalo's practice squad. He was like a draft pick. Look, I don't know how well he knows the offense yet, but Buffalo didn't want to lose him. He was good enough to where Buffalo really wanted to keep him, and they made that mistake, man.
No, they brought up Sewell Opeta. Yeah. Shout out to you, Edwards, for that. Yeah.
Then we reactivated Josiah Scott as well, right?
I believe so.
The
I think
cornerback,
Josiah Scott
right?
and Driscoll got activated from the injury list. I don't know if they were on IR or PUP. I can't remember, but I think they got activated. Both of them did. Josiah Scott, this is a guy, we need turnovers. We do. It was good to get one in Dallas last week, even though we got a 20-point beatdown. But I will say, at least we finally saw the defense get a turnover. Josiah Scott's a really good short zone player. And that seems to be where we need to evolve into, guys, because I had no problem playing zone. I thought we played entirely too much man defense last year, and we didn't have the talent to run it. But I think the zone concepts that Gannon's running, it's too soft. The zone is entirely too soft.
Super
I think
soft.
you got to play a little bit more short zone and allow those guys to try to make a play on the football, especially when you got guys like Steven Nelson who fights back to the football. I'm not saying Steven Nelson can't be called on a double move. He absolutely can. That's why you guys safety him.
I do think that real fast, Gates, my fault. I do think that he was playing the soft zone because they can't stop the run. So if it's a run, they need everybody to be there to be able to rally to the football. But we got to stop the run, man. Like I don't know what happened. I think I know the Lions got rid of a linebacker or something, but we playing these 6 linebackers. I don't know if that's not letting them get into a groove or what it is, but our linebackers are not playing good against the run. They're really not. And that's really supposed to be the linebackers. It's the linebackers' fault. I understand we want to talk about, you can try to talk about the defensive lineman, but when you line up and it's one-on-one, it is a linebacker sticking a running back. It's not a defensive lineman. So, like these linebackers got it. I don't know if they just need to find exactly who they got and play them more 75% of the snaps and do it like that instead of playing 6 guys and them not getting into a rhythm. And them,
I name one name for you right now, Reese. There's a linebacker out there that would immediately improve our defense right now. Jamie Collins.
The Lions let go, right?
Yeah, he was cut. He's got the size that we lack at the position. He's
he's better than all our guys.
Yeah, like, I mean, to be real. But, I mean, look, he's a guy who's 10, 11 years in the league, so he's not a long-term solution, but he'll give you a chance to actually see the defense put into play the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Because Avery's still very short-armed. At the end of the day, Avery is never going to be Anthony Barr because he's not physically the same player. Now, I will say Patrick Johnson isn't – he's not like Patrick Johnson's not out there with T-Rex arms. But he's not – you know what I'm saying? He's still not like quite to Anthony Barr's, you know. That's where like a Jamie Collins who's really close physically. He's not the same type of player. Right. I mean, Anthony Barr is just a different level, but Jamie Collins is respectable. He does have the physical size they're looking for out of that Sam. And I'm kind of disappointed we haven't played Kerrigan there. I thought Kerrigan would have made a ton of sense at that Sam.
Right now, Kerrigan's been ghosted. I mean, a dude played decent amount of snaps, and he hasn't got he don't got no stats. He got no tackles.
Mike, I brought it up. Mike, you remember when everyone told me I was tripping when I said that Kerrigan's signing isn't as good as it seems? I said I like him as a veteran player, but I said if you look at what happened in Washington, most of his production came very early in the season.
Yeah, but we could have used it very early in this season. What do you mean? He could have used it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was like this really, really, really short duration of time, but there wasn't consistency. And a lot of people were saying, well, that's because this person ate into his snaps. And it's like, he played some down the stretch, man. I don't know, man. I still think Kerrigan is if you put him in a Chris Long role to where he's playing 20% of the snaps, probably could still be a really good football player as a veteran guy that can take advantage of somebody. If he's got to start playing 40% or more, I don't know, man. I don't know that it's there anymore, man. I think he's lost the step. But not everybody can beat Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham is like, the dude got better with age. I mean, dude straight just got better as he played in the league longer.
Fine wine. But look, all I know is that, I wanted to come out and try to dominate with the power run, not power run, but just really like run to the right side, run to the middle, stay between your tackles and really dominate there. Having Lane out does hurt, but you still got to do it. The Chiefs allowed rushing throughout the first couple games. I mean, they average 160 yards given up on the ground. You just got to come out and attack that. It's also going to slow down the game and keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Let's be honest. Like, they're 1-2. But the Chiefs gifted the Chargers 3 back-to-back turnovers, right? On their first 3 drives of the game, they turned the ball over, and they were able to say, it's all right. They lost by one score possession. So no matter how many points you got on the Chiefs, they're never out of the game. Ever.
Yeah,
someone was asking about Kayvon Wallace, too. They just asked about Kayvon Wallace. And, talking about the run game, stopping the run, which was to Reese's point about us needing to stop the run, it sucks because when we got Rodney McLeod back and we could have gone to a big nickel and we could have played Kayvon in the box more, who's more of the box safety type. I don't think we have that guy. I don't think we, maybe you could say that maybe he's not idealized, but Harris is at least gifted and physical enough to play in the box. But I don't know. We have that guy now, and that's what do you do? What do you do? I mean, because you're going to need to put 7 to 8 men in the box in order to stop the run. That's what Jim Schwartz did. Jim Schwartz brought more people in the box to stop the run, which made us a little susceptible in the back end. But I will say, I don't recall Jim Schwartz having Nelson and Slay on the outside.
True. You can definitely dial up more blitzes. Just saying, look, I mean, you're not gonna want Steven Nelson to be on the island every single play because he's susceptible to getting beat, but he's not susceptible to the same rate as Michael Jaquette, Avonte Maddox being out there, Roby Coleman, Nickel Roby Coleman. So you can dial him up. He just hasn't really done it. He's done it very small amounts in the game. But to your point, yes, just getting Ronnie McLeod back don't mean Kayvon Wallace ain't going to play. I would have liked to see Kayvon Wallace in that big nickel role where he can play a tight end also or stop the run. We got to get bigger up there while still being able to play a passing team. And I'd rather have Kayvon Wallace on the field than a linebacker, right? That's my point. If you're telling me we bring in an extra linebacker or bring in Kayvon Wallace can be in the box and play that role. He can hit. You saw him lay some thumpers already. Some of them got him hurt and a flag, but he's not afraid of the contact. So he fits that. You know how we wanted what's his name? Who do we have last year? We signed from Denver, or we got the free agent from Denver.
Will Parks.
Will Parks. Again, Will Parks is more seasoned than he is, but he can play that where he can offer you a little bit in coverage, but he's that guy that can help you in the run game while still being a better pass cover than maybe a Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards, but he can still be that thumper for you. So it still stinks.
Play in the box.
Can't stay healthy.
I don't know if Will Parks was happy with our front office though, because he's made a couple of sideways comments being a North Philly native himself. So, like, he did kind of make a couple of sideways comments about the front office and stuff.
Who does like our front office?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding, right? It's crazy.
No, that's not. I mean, that's a bad look when you got a lot of people that talk trash about us, and I grinded. I can't remember his name from Dallas Cowboys, who was our cornerback and got smoked.
Orlando Scandrick.
Yeah, Orlando,
whatever his name is.
You got Orlando Scandrick. You got a couple other dudes, Will Parks, the dude that used to play for the Seahawks, and came to us.
Michael Bennett?
Michael Bennett, yeah. Like, when you look at it, man, a lot of people don't talk about our front office, and it's not good. You know what I mean? And that could be Howie Roseman making them promises and telling them different kind of things. But I don't know, man. But on the game, man, y'all said a couple things. I'm gonna talk about what you was talking about, Mike, with Kansas City. They did turn the ball over. They've actually been turning the ball over all year, for real.
We gotta capitalize on that.
We definitely do. But I ain't gonna lie, like, I watched that whole game, and the Chargers almost threw that game away. It was bad clock management. They didn't want to run the ball. They just kept wanting to throw. I didn't understand it. Sound like us. You know what I mean? But they had an opportunity to get beat. I think it was a holding call or something that actually stopped them from getting beat. But you can't trust them kind of things, and you can't trust that you're going to get 3 to 4 turnovers in the first quarter. You know what I mean? But like I said, nobody's invincible. It seemed like the last 2 MVPs had took a little dip. You know what I mean? And Lamar Jackson, who has a back injury now, but he definitely took a dip, and Patrick Mahomes has. Now, you look at Patrick Mahomes' stats, but a lot of them, every game, they trailed in every game. And I said this last year. They trailed in, I said this the year that they won the Super Bowl. Excuse me, not last year. They trailed in every single game in the playoffs. Now, they ended up winning in those games, but then you go to next year. They trail in every single game again, and then they wound up losing. So I don't know what it is when Andy Reid not getting to a hot start, and he just having faith in the quarterback to make the plays to come back. But when you look at their defense is really not good. And I know a lot of people say, well, we said that about Dallas, yada, yada, yada. But we should be able to put up some points. Now, stopping them is the issue. But I do think our defense has been playing better than our offense. But stopping them is really the challenge. Running the ball, obviously, is the challenge. And you try to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field and then try to make him force things. If you get up a lead on them, they're going to try to force things, and they're going to, like, people praise Patrick Mahomes for just throwing up the football and Tyreek Hill going to grab it. Then they're not really good plays, and we seen that last week at the end of almost the end of the game in the fourth quarter. He threw it up and it's intercepted. Now, a lot of people are not talking about that because it's Patrick Mahomes, but he will give you chances. And if you are with with the wide receiver, the cornerback should have a chance to and get a pick, because we still don't have a pick. No, yeah, we still don't have a pick.
No.
Go ahead.
Let me ask y'all this, because this is the big. How many run attempts are we going to see? Give me your best guess on run attempts, and I'm not just going to say Miles Sanders. Just overall, run plays, not named Jalen Hurts running it.
I'll say real quick, it'll be 15 or more.
Fresh.
If you want to win, and how I feel, two different things. If you want to win, you got to run the ball 23 to 25 times. I think they'll run it. If I was a betting man, like I'm starting to be, if it was 20.5, I would go with the under. I would go with the under.
I would go over 6. I would probably go over 15 thing. I'm right around what Gate is. It got to be 20. You know what I mean? But again, this is a team that we can find ourselves in a hole. So you got to get the running out early to try to keep the game where you want it to be. Look,
you gotta run the ball. We are down 4 offensive linemen. We're down 4 offensive linemen. I don't know why. I just got this Bleacher Report that said fully heading into the game, they found out their 5th starting offensive lineman from week 1. I don't know what that means, but we're down 4 offensive linemen. The only starter on there is Kelsey. Once again. Remember this from last year?
Yeah, but at least that took to week 10. We're seeing this in week 4, bro. And there's an extra game. Hold up. Shout out to Joey Z with the 199 super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. He said, looks like Jack Driscoll is starting right tackle. So now the answer we need to find out is who, because Driscoll was going to start at right guard before Lane Johnson got personal reasons. And I don't know, hopefully everything is good with Lane, because he's a guy. It got to be type bad personal if he's being out, or he hates Nick Sirianni as much as I do right now. I don't know. But I will say this. Who do you think's going to fill Driscoll now as right guard? It's going to be Herbig, right? Or Opeta?
It might be Sua.
No, I think they're going to flip them. So I think it's going to go. I think they're going to take the rookie and put him at left guard, and I think they're going to take Herbig and put him at right guard. For some weird reason, like Herbig on the right side.
Well, yeah, that's what they were going to do anyways. They were going, before Lane was ruled out, they were going to put Driscoll at right guard and Lane and Landon Dickerson at left guard. So now they're kicking right guard-ish, Driscoll to tackle. So I think Dickerson should stay on the left. He got beat up a lot on right. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's try something different. But look, Andre Dillard has been decent, but I mean, how much longer is that going to be? So far, so good. But this is crazy to be week 4.
You thought he was decent last week?
I thought he was decent.
Oh, okay.
I saw a lot of the pressure being up in the middle. I thought the replacement for Sam Alu was getting beat. I thought Landon Dickerson was getting beat up. Sorry, Landon. You're supposed to be bodying these dudes. Come on, I know you're a rookie. But it's you know what's really crazy, and I hate doing this. We brought it up with LB. It's like, you see what PFF is saying about JOK. You see what PFF is saying about Asante Samuel Jr. And, Landon Dickerson, if he can be something, is the staple. You got to start in the trenches. But, God, oh, my God. It's rough. Yeah, it's rough out here.
It's going to be rough just because now you got a young player that just got activated. He's coming off of injury, and he's going to step in without a full week of practice taking first-team reps at the position. I know they were planning on playing him at right guard, so maybe he did get first team reps at right guard, but he didn't have right tackle. So it's like, that's a difficult ask, man. Luckily, I don't think Kansas City has a good enough defensive line with Chris Jones and those guys out to really capitalize on it. But then again, Dallas was, 50 pounds underweight against us. And we still, you know what I mean? Like,
and they bullied us.
Yeah.
They bullied us.
Yeah, but once again, damn, Steve, was you on here? I think you was. Once again, when your offensive line and Jalen, I see that you in this chat now. I don't know if you was when I said this. When your offensive line is getting pushed instead of doing the pushing because you are tired and they're not getting to the second level and they're not producing. They're getting pushed back and they got a block back and they're on their heels instead of being on their toes. That makes an offensive line tired, especially when the defense know you're not running the ball. Send the Wolves. Let's go, go, go. And that makes an offensive line look way worse than what they really are. If you run the damn ball, these things might not happen. I'm not saying that they will. I'm not saying it's a perfect offensive line and yada, yada, yada. This is not the same offensive line that we was talking about week 2. The same. But I mean, it ain't. Remember we were saying we had the best offensive line in the league. We was just saying that. But it ain't. But at the same time, you're not helping them with running the ball, with not running the ball. You have to run the damn ball. That's what it should be when you are in the locker room. You got the bullet board, and all this stuff. It should be a poster that says "Run the damn ball."
Yeah,
I would put it up my damn self. Like if I was a player, like you got to run the ball, man. Like just help everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, for the people who want to talk about Jalen Hurts, and rightfully so, some of them passes were really bad last week, and he's gonna have to make better decisions, and he can't hit the panic button as much as he does. However, you don't see Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Rodgers be asked to have a game plan where they run the ball this many times. It's something that hasn't been done in 20 years for a reason. There's a reason why offense,
20. It's been like 40.
It's
like
an Eagles history 20. Eagles history ever, I think, but I don't know, 20, 40 years. It's a lot. There's a reason why offensive coordinators, even though it's a passing league, you didn't see it done last year, the year before, because you got to do that. You can't fake a ball to a running back and expect the linebackers to drop down so the middle's open. The middle's not open for the Eagles because we don't run the ball. Whether we think Jalen can't throw it there or we're not throwing it there, that middle's clogged up because nobody respects our run. You can't put this much on a rookie's plate, right? You just can't do it. Last week, Kansas City, even in the comeback, right? Kansas City was trailing every single part of that game. And CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, had 17 to 20 rushes, had 100 yards. They were trailing the whole game. They ran the ball with the most gun slinging quarterback there's out there. They ran the ball. And it's Andy Reid. It's not in his blood to run the ball, but he even knows he got to do it. So Nick, there's no excuses. And for you to wear a shirt that says "Run, Booby, Run," it said "Run" 2 times, and you only ran the ball 2 times.
Well, he did foreshadow.
He did. He's like, I told you guys, run. That's all we were doing. I'm making a joke of it because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. That's where I'm at this point. If I don't laugh about it, I'm just gonna lose my mind. It's ridiculous.
Go ahead, D. Listen, I spoke my piece about running the ball, man, and then saying this. Jordan Howard still hasn't been brought up. I still feel some type of way about that. Greg Ward did get a touchdown last week, so he's being used. Boston Scott still isn't. J.J. Whiteside still isn't. It's still room for Jordan Howard to come up, but yet and still, you still choose to not use him and not use the running backs at all. So I guess they said, why bring up Jordan Howard if we're not even going to run the damn ball? It's just a waste of space. But I ain't gonna lie to you, you have no choice but to run the ball. First of all, the crowd was back against the 49ers, and they was happy to be back. and you didn't get booed for real, for real. The crowd's going to boo you if you don't run that damn ball, and they're going to chant, probably chant, "Run the ball, run the ball." This is what Philly do. So if you want to, because it seems like this. Remember, I said this last week when he wore the Dallas week shirt and all that. If you want to appease us, how about you run the freaking ball? Because it seems like everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying, I'm talking about Nick Sirianni right now. Everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying is to appease the fans. Oh yeah, I'm in with Dallas. You don't know what Dallas week is. You know now, because you just got your behind whipped. You know now, but you didn't know before when you had that shirt on what Dallas week really was. So to me, if you want to appease us, run the ball. Run the ball. I'm not saying you got to run the ball 40 times, but it need to be over 20 at least. First of all, you got the best quarterback in the league, so you want to keep him off the field. And it's the best and they can be ran on. They can be thrown on also, but they can be ran on. You got to run the ball, man. You just do. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick before Gates go to the point of play action and RPO, because Gate came out, the RPO can be used very, very deadly. It could be a deadly usage. Again, we won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles using it. Here's the difference, though. Every time Jalen Hurts fakes it to Miles Sanders, nobody's worried about Miles Sanders keeping the ball. The Dallas Cowboys linebackers were like, you're not going to give it to him. This is your 30-second pass attempt. You ain't giving it to him. You know what I mean? Where in the Super Bowl, Nick Foles did give it to LeGarrette Blount. He did give it to Ajay Ajayi. He did give it to Corey Clement. And so when you run the ball from the RPO, from the play action, and it starts killing them, it's over. Let's look at this, right? And our linebacker core is the weakest spot of our team, right? But we kind of did a great job against Kyle Pitts. We did a great job against what's his name, George Kittle, right? We did a decent job against. Oh no, we did a good job against Pitts and George Kittle, right? And guess who beat us up? Dalton Schultz. You know why? Because Zeke was going through the middle of our defense like Moses was parting in the sea, right? And so with him going through the defense as easy as he wanted, what happened? When they faked it, when they did an RPO, which they did a couple times in that game, what did our linebackers do? Whoop, and then Dalton Schultz over the middle. Dalton Schultz in the flats. Dalton Schultz. He was their leading receiver because of how scared we were of the run. If you fake it to Miles Sanders and don't give it to him 10 times in a row, well, I'm done listening. I'm going to play pass. So it's just like you just let Dallas, and they were down D tackles. They missed their 2 starting defensive tackles. You should have ran up the heart of that defense. I'm done.
Yeah, look, I mean, there. The crazy thing is like going back and watching some of the film. If you guys go back to the first drive, right? The first drive of the San Francisco game, when everyone freaked out about that 3rd down play, where it was a running play. Truth be told, Miles Sanders made the wrong read. If Miles Sanders followed his blocks outside,
on 36,
25-yard. That was probably a 25-yard running play there. It was wide open. I don't know why he cut it back inside, because the outside, there was nothing but green in front of him if he just cut it outside and followed his block.
In the Niners gamer's name, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the coaching staff, I think everyone has to slow it down a little bit, stop being so reactionary, and just let the film guide your decisions. Let the film guide your decisions. Film doesn't lie. The film will tell you the truth about who you are, what you are, how bad you are, how good you are. The film won't lie to you. Just trust what the film's showing. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the dynamics right now, Mike, with the front office. I hear the churmers and the mummers. I don't know. I will say that, it's hard to get a read on it because Sirianni was not the play caller in Indianapolis, although he was very important for the play designs. He was one of the big guys that designed the plays in Indianapolis. But I will say they were far more balanced on offense with Reich there. So I don't know if that's a Sirianni thing or is that intervention from the front office. I don't think we'll get the answer to that for years. I think it'll be years before that kind of stuff comes out. With that said, I mean,
but sometimes
at some point, if there is intervention, you got to stand up for yourself and say, with all due respect, you're front office guys. You're not football guys. Stop it. I mean, you got to stand up.
I think it's today is where we kind of really see, because like I said, you're going against the best quarterback. You're going against one of the prohibitive offenses in the NFL, and the best way to keep them on the field, I mean off the field, I mean to win the game is to keep them off the field, and the best way to keep them off the field is by running the ball in time of possession. So if I'm not saying it's going to be 2 rushes again, I don't see that, but if you don't run the ball as much as you should, especially if we get a lead, to me it's definitely the front office, man, because it's like we're looking into the past of last year. One of the reasons, and I'm gonna keep saying this, that our linemen kept getting hurt is because you didn't run the ball. I'm not gonna blame it all on that, but when they gotta keep blocking the way that they're blocking, they're going to get hurt. These are facts because we're seeing it. You don't run the ball, they get hurt. You run the ball, we're fine. We ran the ball against Atlanta. We came out fine, right? We didn't run the ball as much against the 49ers. Injury. We damn sure didn't run the ball as much last week. Injuries. These things are not just coincidental. These are my linemen need to be pushing up. First of all, we're a little older. Even though we're good, we're a little older. And they want to be bullies. They want to get up to second levels. They want to be able to push everybody out their way instead of people pushing them. And the way you do that is, once again, run the ball.
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, for real, you should have titled this joint "Run the Ball."
Hey, yo, you know what I used in my preview video? You remember the blind side when what's his name?
Yo, when I seen it wasn't the blind side. It was damn, it wasn't the blind side though.
Well, no, yeah, because it's the blind side with Michael Orr. He's the left tackle and stuff, and she calls Bert in the middle of the game. He picks up the phone. She said, "Run the damn ball. Stop being cute."
Man, Chuck was talking about that. I was crying. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yo, that joke funny.
Stop being cute. But real quick to the Jalen Hurts thing, let me just say this real quick. Jalen Hurts, to me, in that Dallas game, definitely had some plays where you're like, wait, there's things he got to work on. He has to learn how to see the field better, but that also goes with stop hitting the panic button early. In college, his legs got him out of a lot of situations. He got to understand that, you know what, I'm going to stay there. I might get sacked a little bit more, but I got to learn to go through my progressions. Look, if you're a boxer and you're heavy with the right, you get a new trainer, it's going to be a little hard to drill in your head. Use your left more, but it can happen. It's muscle memory. We're able to forget one thing. I have a phone number for 7 years. I might keep repeating it, but when I get my new phone number, I'll eventually learn the new phone number. So there's things that Jalen got to work on, right? When Dak Prescott came out, he had some of the same weaknesses: inconsistent reading the field down the field, this, that, and the third, inconsistent a lot of things. So with that being said, you got to give him time. You can't. Yeah, I'm reading too many different things. You can't just rush him out off one game. He was bad in that game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If he continues to show me week 7, week 9, week 11, week 14, this man looks the same from week 14 that he did week 3. He's not willing to do the things we ask him. Then you go ahead and make your decision. But we see the leadership. We've seen some upside throws. He got to be more consistent deep. He got to stay in the pocket a little bit longer and trust his receivers. Well, he
can't trust the offensive line right now, though. That's the thing.
Again. So, there's a lot of things building up, right? If you run the ball more, some of your passes will be more open. We didn't run the ball, so he's throwing through tighter windows than other people because the linebackers are there. Look, at the end of the day, if you put good quarterbacks in a system that just doesn't work. All right, here's an example. Matthew Stafford looks good, but he looks different now, right? He's killing it, right?
That's because he got a defense. That's
okay, but no, he also
got
weapons.
He always was the gunslinger. He always was that. But okay, let me say something, Mike. You are definitely right. You know what I need to see Jalen Hurts do more though? instead of running, sometimes you can just slide in the pocket. And this things that Carson Wentz didn't do neither. Just slide over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a reason why Tom Brady really doesn't get hit like that, because he knows how to move within the pocket. You know what I mean? You don't have to run as soon as a guy's coming. You can just slide right over. You can slide back. You can slide up.
Yes.
This is what
Pocket
Tom
presence.
Brady and dudes like that don't have that mobility does. And this is why they're successful. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, to me, that's the most thing that I think that he needs to work on. Knowing when to run and knowing when to just slide. Well,
yeah, I just want to say this real quick. I'm not comparing Hurts to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is inching in the top 7 to me. I had Dak Prescott a fringe top 10 quarterback before the season. He's up there. He's top 7 to me right now. Dak Prescott well, I'm just saying, this is just me. I had him a fringe. In the offseason, when talking to Cowboy fans, I said he was a fringe top 10. Right now, he's inching to me in the top 7. We'll see how far he goes. Shout out to Richard with the $2 super chat. Yes, Lane is out. Personal matters is rough. What I'm saying is Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick, and he had the same scouted issues as some other quarterbacks. He runs out the pocket too early. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And again, as a rookie, he had the Great Wall of China, Ezekiel Elliott, and Des Bryant. That was able to mentor him throughout the thing. Jalen Hurts has different things. And I'm not sitting here telling you that I predict Jalen Hurts is going to be very good at the end of the season. But what I'm saying is I've seen quarterbacks that struggle with certain things. It's an outlier. It's not the norm. But Josh Allen in his rookie year had 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a 51% completion percentage, right? Now Josh Allen's an MVP candidate. Sam Darnold was seeing ghost in New York. He was considered a bust. Now he got his team to 3-0. Not saying he's great, but he's a respectable quarterback. Baker Mayfield in his second season was talked about. Ew, what are you doing? They got a new coach who likes to run the ball and use play action, and Baker Mayfield went to the AFC Championship or whatever. Ryan Tannehill with Adam Gase in Miami was like, ew. And he became something respectable with a run game. And just because they run the ball don't mean that Tannehill's not throwing the ball good. So all I'm asking you is to say, can we give Jalen Hurts to week 9 before we say it's an absolutely no chance that a guy who's willing to learn just can't learn? Because what I see right now is a guy who a lot of people in the chat. Listen, I just want to get it out there. Okay, right now, he's not a franchise quarterback. Yeah. Right now, he's not a franchise quarterback. And he got to do some of the things we said. He has to learn to trust his arm, trust his line, trust his teammates, and not be the athletic freak he is when he gets, as he says, freaky. But that is also something you learn by doing it and doing it and doing it. Simple and plain. So all I'm saying is, in my video that got a lot of things is because a lot of people were doing a lot of still shots of Jalen Hurts saying, look how open Devontae Smith was open last week. Don't get me wrong. But if the ball's out of Jalen's hand and you're screenshotting and saying that, now you just got a different vendetta for Jalen Hurts. So by week 10, by week 12, I'll be able to tell you, damn, I wanted Jalen to be the guy, but he's not the guy. But right now, it's just too early. Nick Sirianni is on my shit list, right? But I'm willing to give him a couple more tries. But when you break the record for the least amount of rushes in 25 years, I mean, that's Jalen Hurts didn't break a record for being the worst quarterback ever. But right now, Nick Sirianni look like the worst play caller. So let's see. Lord Jesus. Last thing real quick. New coaches,
I think it's
new run games
man,
help out. Simple.
I think it's complex, man, because as I got an opportunity to see the all-22, I do think that the play calling is not as bad as people think. I think it's a balance problem. I think it's an issue when you only run the ball 2 times with a running back.
Correct.
It's losing hindsight of how you attack a team. It's losing hindsight of the fact that they're on like their 4th and 5th defensive tackles. Like it's losing hindsight of those type of things. Like it's an execution of the game plan issue. I will say that I do think there are things you can do to alleviate the play of a younger quarterback and to help them develop and grow. If they're struggling with the RPOs, I'm not saying you have to completely scale back and do no RPOs at all, but you can add in more play action passing as opposed to RPO. You can do more just straight run calls, especially if you feel like, hey, if I give an inside zone here, There's yardage here. Our offensive line can push this defensive line back and get to the second level. Well, then do it. Don't leave it up to suggestion on an RPO then. I'm not saying you got to completely remove the RPO, but, there are things you can do to mitigate some of those problems, in my opinion there. I know that what they want to do is they want to see how teams play. But if you're not running the ball, why is a team going to stack the box? They saw what you did against Atlanta, and they saw you play on the outside with those little tunnel screens and stuff. So teams adapted. You ran into Dallas, and I said, most teams are primarily zone, but everyone is different in their percentages of man. Dallas, who is still technically, I believe, if I go look it up, they're still technically primarily zone, but they were still a more heavier man coverage team than we were used to playing. And they weren't scared of the Eagles receivers to not play man. They just came out on us and basically played man defense on us. So it's harder to hit those little tunnel screens. It's harder to do those things. But what you could have done is you could have challenged them right up through the middle. And I think that's where you got to get better. You got to look at things like that. You can edit the things that you do from a standpoint of play calling, a standpoint of game planning to supplement and to ease some of the burden you're having with the young quarterback. There are things you can do here. You don't have to have this young man do a full field read yet. There's not a lot of quarterbacks this early in their career that are doing full field reads. It's very rare. I mean,
can I say something? And I know playing quarterback, Steve, you can attest to this. Something that needs to be said is the fact of the matter is this kid has went through 5 or 6 different offenses in the last 5 or 6 years. Like, that is tough, man. Like, when you look at it, at Alabama, you know what I mean? 2 different offensive coordinators there. At OU, a offensive coordinator there. Then he comes here. So that's 3 years right there, different offensive coordinators. Then he comes here. You know what I mean? Had Doug Peterson and all those other dudes screaming in his ear. You know what I mean? And then now he got a whole nother system again. I mean, they still are using the RPO, whatever you want, but they're using it differently. So we got to get a kid some time to figure all that out. When you got every year, you got somebody different screaming and talking. You got to do this. You got to do it this way. And some coaches don't agree with how things are done or how things are prepared. So you got to change up not only your way of thinking, but your preparation. You got to change up how you look at the field. You got to change all those things up. So we have to get a kid some time, man. Like, we really do. You can't just say the kid, like, we so quick to throw somebody away. You know what I mean? Look at Chris Carter. Not sitting down there. That was a move that had to be made. But it still happened. And the guy's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at things like that, didn't want to pay Reggie. Went into the Packers, got a Super Bowl. Yeah. So we have to not be so quick to just throw everybody in the freaking garbage. Aguilar had a pretty good year in Oakland. We was grinding him up. Had a pretty good year in Oakland. Is doing okay with the Patriots this year. But still, you have to understand that this kid, I'm not saying that he's the franchise quarterback. I don't know that yet. And that's what we all need to say, instead of just saying, yo, the kid done. No, he doesn't read the field. He doesn't do that. You just listening to what everybody else saying. Stop it. Go look at tape. If you really want to talk about the kid, go look at tape. Go break down things when you see it, instead of just hearing what the media telling you, because the media is not always right.
Real quick. I got to get up out of here.
It's no way just S player every single game in the NFL Sunday. All right, go ahead.
Now, I got to get out of here soon. We started later today, so we'll get into our little things. But real quick, if this is the mindset, if we're not going to, first of all, right, how many brand new head coach, new quarterback, how many new everything goes to the playoffs and wins the Super Bowl, right? We were trying to be NFC East competitors because we thought this division was bad, and it still might be. I'm still trying. But if you got the mindset, why are we giving Hurts 17 games if he's playing like crap? Doesn't make sense, right? So there's nobody who can get better. So the Bills should have got rid of Josh Allen, right? The Jets get rid of Sam Darnold. And guess what? Sam Darnold looks pretty decent. Like, there's been quarterbacks who left their system and is good somewhere else. I'm not here saying Jalen Hurts is good. I'm not saying he's bad. Last week, he was trash, but there was context and we got beat up. Let's just see more. That's it. He's a young guy. Simple. Let's start with our offensive guys. I need to see Jalen Hurts do something for me. I know we don't like the quarterback, but he was bad. And I've been showing that he was bad and also defending the lies that people just like to circle open people when the play's over. Dallas Goedert's running up field and they're circling Devontae Smith at the 50-yard line like he was open. Dallas Goedert got the ball in his hand. He's running up field. I got Jalen Hurts showing me something. If not, I'm going to let him know. I'm not afraid to say a guy stinks or not. Some people still hate me how I talk to Carson Wentz at the end of the season, you know? I know Fresh didn't like me. I mean, Fresh went at it. With that being said, I need Jalen Hurts to step on the offense, even though we need to run the ball. And on defense, I got to see something from the secondary. I need to see a pick. So I'm going to go off the radar. I think they're going to target a guy like Nelson. Maybe Josiah Scott gets in the game. I'm going to go, Nelson with a pick. Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead, Reese.
Offense. I'm gonna go with Miles Sanders, man. Miles Sanders, like, you got we're not like he top 15 running back. You gotta use the dude, man. And people are gonna laugh and they're gonna joke when I say these things, but if he's not getting the carries and he's not leading the league, but he's up there in yards per carry again. I think the dude is like, I think he's like 7.1 or something crazy like that. Get a guy the ball. Defense. And I picked Hargrave last week, and I think he did his thing. I'm gonna go with McLeod, man. And it's not really on the field. It is on the field, but it's just putting everybody in their places. McLeod is the captain of that secondary. We know what Darius Slay do. You know what I mean? But McLeod is the captain. He's the orchestrator. You know what I mean? And he puts everybody in their place. And hopefully when we do play zone, they don't get out of place like how they was. Now the linebackers, that's something different. If they're going to use their tight ends, that's something different. We know they're going to use their tight ends. They got the second best tight end in the NFL. But you got to put a situation to where as though McLeod is going to construct the defense. Go ahead, Joe. Oh, did we do score? You did score, Mike?
I didn't do the score, but if Gate wants to go through his stuff and say why, and then we can hit the score prediction, I guess.
Defensively, that's a tough one, man. I'm going to say defensively, I'm going to say Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson's got to step up. I need Steven Nelson to make a play.
Mike said that.
I need a turnover. I need Steven Nelson to come up. I need to secure. Oh, did you pick Steven Nelson?
Yeah, I kind of went anybody in the secondary, but I said, let me go the second guy. Yeah, I've been saying too much.
I know. There's another way of flipping this. Avonte Maddox. Avonte Maddox is going to be manned up no matter what you do because he's a slot. He's a nickel playing the slot. He's going to be manned up. So Avonte Maddox, do something. Make a play for us. It's got to be in the secondary.
There's a lot of plays he's going to be on Kelsey.
Yeah. I'll say that offensively, I think this is a game where you could get a guy unexpected like Zach Ertz can have a big game. I think it's one of those games to where it's easy to where a guy's only getting 30-40% of the snaps to lose track of them if you're the opposing defense. And I think this is a game to where he could end up having 3 or 4 catches, but one of them goes in for a touchdown. He did it last week. He did put points on the board, but I think Zach Ertz could be a guy that, he could make a play in this game.
You got me wanting to play him in fantasy now, Steve.
There we go.
It's either him.
So go ahead. No, go ahead. Give your score prediction.
I got a close. Huh? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, I got a close one, man. Close one. Eagles 24-21. Field goal late in the game.
You're gonna need something like that. Go ahead, Gate.
Look, we're going to do this 17 times this year, and I'm going to give you 17 answers how the Eagles are going to win it because I'm an Eagles fan. That's the way it works. 31-28, man. I think you win this game. You have to score points.
Makes sense. And I'm with Gate. Like, this is how I'm going to say it. Like, if the biggest if I'm ever going to say, if the Eagles win this game, they're going to win it like 31-30. I'm going to say 31-30. Again, you need to have a perfect game. You can't lead the league in penalties. You have to win the penalty battle. You got to win the turnover battle. You got to win the time of possession. You got to play a perfect game and then some to beat the Chiefs. So 31-30, perfect game. That's the only way. If we don't play perfect, if we play subpar, you thought Dallas' score was bad. This could get ugly quick.
Yeah, they can legitimately put up 50 points on you if you're not careful.
Not careful. My main thing is this. I've never been the one to say moral victories, but I've also never seen a coach and quarterback combination that bad last week. So that being said, if I see competent football, low key in the deep back of my head, I'll be feeling good if I see competent football be played.
Yeah.
With that being said,
I mean, I look at it this way, Mike. From if you can keep Kansas City under 30 points, you've already won to an extent. You saying you win in the football game. I'm saying that you must have done something either defensively to slow them down or offensively you kept them on the sideline long enough not to give them the opportunity to put up more than 30 on
you. Yo, somebody said 78-10 Chiefs.
That's what I know. And he's an Eagle fan, so he's just done. He's just done. Oh my goodness. And this is gonna be and the worst thing is that when you're streaming a game like I'm about to do, right? If you know you're out of it by the first quarter, but you still gotta it's rough.
You got a job to do. You still got a job to do, man.
It's 3 miserable quarters, but no, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. You know what I mean? So we're about to see. This is rough. With that being said, we're gonna talk to each other about a post game and stuff. I'm gonna hit them up and stuff. But with that being said, appreciate y'all for coming through. Go Eagle. We out.
Yo, that.
Yo.